Hello everyone. Today is the 2nd of February. So we're going to start our weekly analysis first with the dollar index. And like I said in the community later on that this is a new month, so we have to see how the previous monthly candle has closed, which is going to give us clues on where to expect the next monthly candle to trade to, right? So we're going to go up straight to the monthly time frame. Now, looking at DXY on the monthly time frame, we had this fair value gap spotted out last month, and the price hasn't filled it after taking out this candle's low, right? After taking out the previous monthly candle's low. And also, we had this entire area here, which was going to be our breaker block. So we have actually traded into that breaker block and even down to the high of this particular candle here. All right, so we can see that the breaker block has actually been respected. This is a possibility, or this could mean that this particular candle here can even become our CRT, which means the next monthly candle might be trying to push higher back to the upside, something like this. All right. We're going to look at EURUSD to confirm, because with this move, a breaker block is actually what makes a fair value gap to remain unfilled. Fair value breaker blocks, they cause fair value gaps to all the, that's one of the reasons why you have breakaway gaps. All right, so this can be a breakaway gap. This can become a breakaway gap, which means price might not be filling it, and then from there we'll start targeting these buy stops from here. Now we have these buy stops and further up this high as well. All right, so let's go down to the weekly and see if there's a reason for price to come lower again to target this particular. Also, we said that this could have been a bigger CRT, but looks something else right now. Let's see how the weekly looks like. Beautiful. Now, if we look at the weekly time frame, we notice that this fair value gap that we had here on the monthly time frame, price had actually filled a weekly fair value gap that was aligning around that particular area. Let me just change this color to something like this. So price has actually filled the 1 week BC, which was slightly above that of the monthly gap, and it was aligning with this breaker. So we've actually traded back down to retesting this breaker also, which we had this other block right here, which we had this other block, this weekly order blocks supporting price as well. So basically, and now we have traded back up to close even above this last bearish candle. So this becomes our 1 week order block. So from here we can start to see probably higher prices from this particular let's see. So our weekly is bullish from here. You can see higher prices to target the buy stops from here. But our primary target this week might just be this candle's high to complete this CRT movement here. Let's go to the daily chart. And as well, on the daily chart, we are completely close above this swing high, which is this swing high that created this swing low into this daily order block. So the weekly fair value gap also had this other block right here. Okay, so at this point, so much, I mean, there are so many confluences that are actually supporting prices at the DXY to keep moving higher. We've had that shift in market structure. So looking at this area now, we have this area as a breaker plus fair value gap for price to trade back down to before we continue higher. So this is what I would love to see, price to play around here and then come back down to this breaker, and then we have a shift probably on the lower time frame, like 1 hour, right? 1 hour time frame, and then we continue higher. All right, so this is basically what I would like to see on DXY. But then if price still comes right down to be taking out this low, then it definitely means we're going to be taking out this low to fill the monthly fair value gap. All right, so for now, this remains our buy invalidation. That's our buy invalidation at this point. Put it down. All right, so we expect higher prices from this particular area here, from this fair value gap. Which aligns with this breaker. That's basically what I'll be expecting for DXY, maybe for higher prices. Let's look at Euro USD. We'll also start with the monthly time frame so that we have an idea of where price is going. All right, so Euro USD, we also had the same thing. We had this same fair value gap. We expected price to come down to we have this same fair value gap. Now, if you look closely here, you will notice that Euro USD hasn't come right up to test its breaker like DXY did. And still, it hasn't even taken previous monthly high. So this is this is SMT trying to indicate more lower prices for Euro USD. And if you remember, I told you some time ago that I'm expecting price to at least come down to the high of this candle. And even this whole month opened with a gap and then tried to trade a little bit back up, but then did not take the previous monthly high. But meanwhile, DXY took its previous monthly low. All right, so at this point, we're having an SMT already. And you guys can remember as well that we had some equal highs around this area that we're trying to, we're expecting price to come and take. We had this relative equal highs here. We're expecting price to come up, take them, but it did not. So we still have price created an SMT and it did not take out those equal highs. So, and then we managed to trade back down to this area, which actually makes this candle a CRT because of SMT. So previous weekly low, this will be our target. Our first target, second target will be this one right here. Let's put that put a line at that point. And then furthermore, I also spotted this candle right here. Okay, this was the last area where we had this volume coming in from. So price will likely be coming down to this particular area, which means that first target will be the CRT low, second target this one, and then price will be coming down to this other block. Let's see how the daily looks like. Also, on the daily time frame, we had a shift in market structure here, and we have this fair value gap, which also aligns with this breaker. So we're gonna have price at least push up, create the high of the week, and then we have lower prices like this into this particular key level. All right, so I also believe we have this trend line liquidity here, which price starts to clear is going to clear right down to the low of that trend line. All right, so we are bearish on Euro USD. We'll just have to wait for price to come up, fill this internal range liquidity, and then we continue lower. But if that doesn't happen, let's say maybe if Monday trades and then closes above this candle with some huge momentum, let's say maybe something like this. If we have let me change the color to something that looks like we have on the chart. If we have, let's say we open down here and then price trades and close with such volume like this. All right, it trades and close with such volume like this heavily, maybe even closing this particular fair value gap here, something like that. Then we'll still know that price will want to target this equal highs here. But for now, I don't think the equal highs will be taken out because of the SMT that we have with DXY, right? But like I said, if we have some kind of a volume candle trade back up this much heavily or breaking out of not retesting this breaker, there will be a possibility that we can still move back up and then we'll take out the equal highs, all right? But DXY looks so heavily bullish, so which means Euro will likely want to continue selling from here. The fact that it didn't take out that high shows how weak it is, so which means it will likely want to continue lower. Let's look at GBP USD also starting from the monthly time frame. We can see here that GU took previous monthly high, retested its breaker right here, which this one. All right, and then we managed to trade back down, close slightly above that previous monthly high. Let's go down to the weekly time frame. All right, so weekly time frame, we have this breaker plus this other block aligning and supporting price movement from here. And then we have price taking out this candle's high and even closing below the opening of that candle. If I should do something like this, you're going to see that we have some kind of 70% strength reversal signal here on the weekly, which means there's a likelihood for more lower prices. We'll go to the daily time frame. Price actually did not trade so much down to close below the swing low as it did on Euro USD. As well, that could still be some kind of SMT that we're having. All right. But then we have this fair value gap also here. All right. So the fact that GU is proving to be a little bit stronger than Euro USD means that if Euro USD just wants to move a little bit back up to fill its fair value gap, GU might even trade higher, probably to an area before it can actually reverse. Right. So when you understand the strength of Euro USD and GB USD, you will know which one will want to go to the extreme before it gives a reversal. Still, we have this fair value gap here on fill, so which we are going to be targeting it this week. I will prefer that price actually trades into this fair value gap, okay, and then from there we target this fair value gap. I mean, that will be very good. Let's look at gold. We have been talking about gold for quite some time now. Monthly time frame on gold, prices push higher, and then we reached that 2,900 key level. Weekly time frame, we had this fair value gap. I think we spotted something like this last week. We talked about this fair value gap. All right, and when I spotted this, remember last week I was expecting this candle to be a CRT, and it actually has been one. All right, but there was a double stop once here on this particular candle here. So this week we have closed heavily bearish on GU. On gold, which means there's a possibility for more lower prices. All right. And then this is the close of this month, so which means now we have a monthly fair value gap right here. So there's a possibility for this guy to trade even right down to retesting these highs. Okay, maybe something like this, trade down to this area before we continue higher. Daily time frame, let's see. Okay, so daily time frame, we have a shift in market structure. All right, and then we have that breaker plus this mitigation candle here. That's an area to expect more selling pressure coming from to this area, which also aligns with this other block before we have continuation to the upside. Let's check Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin traded right down to this fair value gap. I don't know if we spotted this last on our weekly analysis. All right, I think, yeah. And we are having a massive buy from that particular area. And before that dump came in, we had this area to be an accumulation, which means this is just a possible manipulation to then have a distribution. This might just be the turning point for Bitcoin now to continue higher prices, maybe targeting 150 or that's well, from here we can expect higher prices, okay, especially if price actually closes above this high. That will be a real confirmation of the manipulation movement. All right, so Bitcoin, I think we're bullish. You can also see how this weekly candle, the manipulation from this weekly candle, you can see that there's a likelihood for prices to continue higher. Okay, so let's check US 100. US 100 dropping. Let's see. Let's start from the monthly. All right, so we're having multiple rejections from this point. This literally means that there's a likelihood for price to want to trade lower. Maybe we can see US 100 coming back down to this other block here. All right, I think that would be a good area to start looking for longs on the US 100. We can retest this other block, sell down to this area using this guy as an inducement, and then we continue moving higher from there. Let's quickly look at GBP JPY. JPY, we have not had any major movement as we discussed last week. We expected price to get supported or to get resisted by this other block and for us to have lower prices targeting this low, right? And then throughout the week, we barely got any expansion on GBP JPY. So you can see the price range there is really small. Monthly time frame, we close bearish, so there's a likelihood that price will be targeting this candle's low, which is also kind of like a CRT as well. Our price took the high into that other block and then can be targeting this low. So daily time frame, all throughout this week, GBP JPY has actually been consolidating, and we might just price trade back up to this other block, and we see price dropping lower, taking out this low. Okay, but now we don't have any reasons to be buying yet. We don't have any reasons to buy, and then we even have all this relative equal low. This is just like lots of liquidity actually lying under this trend line here. Okay, so which means overall price might want to drop right down to that key level, to that low. Guys, I don't know if I've skipped any. Okay, US 30. Please, if you want me to check any pair, just put it on the chart. US 30. It's US 30 now. What did I write? US 30, US 30, US 30, US 30. US 30 moves slightly just like US 100, right? So there's a possibility that everything will want to, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how the previous Monday candle closed. US 30 has been trending up so much, and the previous monthly candle has closed as a contraction candle. So which means there is a huge expansion that is coming up, and we have lots of liquidity above this area as well. And then we have this momentum candle slow, which is still protected. And we have built up all these relative equal highs here. So which means probably on the weekly time frame, this looks so much like a good order block that can support price like it just did on this candle to go back, take those previous this relative equal highs before maybe we can have price trying to trade lower, right? So then we can be targeting now this other block using this particular swing low as an inducement into that other block. Okay, I think this is what it looks like. Maybe we'll take out this high and then we trade back lower before we continue higher, like something like that. Yeah. GBP did a CRT, okay, on the weekly. yen index. Let's look at yen index then. Yen index. It is called a GPY. It's not yen index now. GPY. GPY basket. I think this is it. No, that's not it. It's not futures. GPY basket, something like that. Yeah, I think it's this one. Good. All right. So, I actually talked to someone, I don't know, about this where we have been dropping for quite a long time on it. So, trying to gain momentum, pushing back to the upside. Monthly time frame, internal range liquidity to external. We see price trading back down to this area. And just now, we have closed above this candle. So, this high on Japanese yen is actually going to be our target. Okay, this particular high is going to be our target. And this explains why we are really bearish on GPY index, on GPP GPY. Okay, so we expect something like that. Let's see, daily time frame. Daily time frame on the on the Japanese yen index, we have this other block here. So if price can pull back down to that other block, we get some longs at that area. Will target this high. Which other assets are we looking at again? GBP AUD, GBP AUD. Wow, GBP AUD is pushing to the upside massively. That's the daily time frame. Let's see monthly. Where is this guy going up to? Okay. Monthly has closed bullish after taking previous monthly high. There's a possibility that this whole monthly candle can become a CRT, but then we have this area to target. So, which means there's possibility price will be moving more higher. Let's see. Weekly time frame. The way weekly time frame closed shows more bullishness. So, price can just retest this other block, this last bearish candle. Remember, I said when price is pushing higher, when the market is bullish, bearish candles they act like support. Okay, they act like support to price. So this is what we can actually have on GPY. Okay, let's see USD GPY. USD GPY should, let's see. Okay, USD GPY. I think we talked about this guy and he's still laying around. We've not had the move that we're expecting yet. I think we're expecting price to come down to this fair value gap. So we have not, and we have created now this fair value gap here. Okay. We have created this fair value gap where price can now open, fill it, and then we trade lower into targeting this fair value gap here. US oil, okay, US oil. Let's see US oil, TVC. All right, good. US oil still maintaining what we spotted last week. We're still expecting lower prices, but then this guy is really stubborn. See these multiple rejections from here and all this trend line liquidity. We are still heavily bearish on GPY index. We have lots of contraction, and price can expand to the downside. There was a time that this US oil, right? There was a time that 1 barrel of it was actually less than $1. Yeah, there was a time of this crash. It was actually less than $1 in just a space of, I don't know, that was a space of, was it 2 days or one day? Let me see. Maybe it was one day. US oil crashed so much that if you, if you were a trader at that moment and you had just, it was in a day, right? You had that serious spike in a single day. And it was less than $1, like less than $1, $0.01. If imagine if you could have hit some kind of, you could have just bought like about because currently now it's trading at what? US oil is trading at what now? 70. Yeah, 70. So at that level, if you could have just bought like 100, hundreds of the barrels, you'll be having 7,000. But at least price even went right up to 128 and so on. The crash was massive. All right, so what? Yeah, it's like conquering analysis now. I built psychology and patience. Yeah, welcome, Janvier. All right, guys, I'm going to stop sharing now. I think we have. This should be